Hey guys, glad to be back. I just finished up another semester of school. I am a senior at the university here in my local area, and I'm going to be graduating this December. But for now, I'm on summer break and I'm ready to get some videos going and try to get some stuff pumped out for you guys. Sorry about the ambiance going on here. These birds are really picking up, and of course they didn't start till I start rolling the camera. But anyway, today I just wanted to talk to you about a little bit more about myself. I've had some people ask some questions on YouTube through personal messages, and some people posting comments on Dave's channel in regards to the videos of me riding around the tank chair and stuff like that. And I just kind of want to try to answer all those questions if I can in this video. And if you have any more questions about me or anything like that and my disability and stuff, please feel free to shoot me a private message or leave a message in the comments, and I would be happy to get back with you guys. I'm soon to be turning 25. I will be 25 on the 14th, so I think that's a Sunday. But I was born with a nerve disorder called CMT, and it basically is a muscular dystrophy type thing. It really affects my muscle system and all its makeup, but really the initial problem is a nerve disorder. And what CMT is basically the nerves don't respond correctly. So the brain tells your nerves to tell the muscles to react, and my nervous system doesn't operate like that. Some of them do and some of them don't. So some of my muscle groups are affected really badly while others are mildly affected. But that's basically what it boils down to. You have two different types of nerves. You have sensory nerves and motor nerves. Your motor nerves are what control your muscle groups, and your sensory nerves are what you feel with. I feel temperatures really well. It's not affected, it hasn't affected that area a lot. But as far as textures, I don't feel textures very well. I actually will have to rub things on my face to kind of get a feel for how they really, what the texture actually is. So that's kind of a little bit about how that goes as far as the sensory nerves. But the motor nerves are what really have affected me throughout the course of my life. I basically don't walk very well due to a balancing issue, because you use your things like your big toes and stuff like that to counterbalance and to balance yourself, and mine don't work properly. So my balance is very poor. Yes, I can walk. I do have the ability to get on 2 feet, but I do not have the ability to go long distances. Like, I would never just go to the mall or anything like that and just walk on foot. It really is super taxing on me, and I'd be more likely to fall. I get worn out real easy, so I'd probably just fall over, 20-30 minutes into walking around somewhere. So I do try to walk around as much as possible at home and out and about where I can, going to church and stuff like that. I try to walk where I can just to keep up some exercise. But for the most part, I use my chair at school to get around. Anywhere I'm going to be, like long distances and things like that, if I'm going on trips or traveling, I try to use my actual wheelchair and things of that nature. Before I get too far into that, I need to talk a little bit more about physical stuff. I also have a disease called scoliosis. It's a very common disease. A lot of people have it, and a majority of the people have it don't even realize they have it. They have never been tested for anything like that. But all scoliosis is the curving of the spine. And because I had CMT and everything else that I have going on with me, it kind of amplified my scoliosis. So at the age of 13, I had a 63-degree curve in my back. For those of you that don't understand degrees and curves and things, I was literally hunched over far more than I am now. If you look at me, if you've ever met me at the gathering, anything like that, I do have a slight hump to my back. I am kind of hunched over some. It's nothing compared to what I was. 63-degree curve. From what the doctors tell me, I was 2 to 3 degrees away from being paralyzed. Basically, my spine was twisting so much that it was going to mess up my spinal cord and I was going to become paralyzed. So they have tried back braces and things like that on me in the past, and that has just not worked. And so push came to shove, they had to actually go in and do surgery. When I was 13, my surgery lasted 14 and a half hours. It was a pretty major, in-depth surgery. They had to go in and deflate one of my lungs, remove one of my ribs, scrape my growth plates on the front of my spine to make sure it didn't grow anymore. Then they used the bone from the rib to actually fuse titanium rods to my back, and they've kind of constricted my back and straightened it out as much as they could. It's now at I believe a 23-degree curve, and so it's not gonna curve anymore on me. But it was a pretty in-depth operation. It was pretty hardcore. I was only in the hospital for 8 days. As far as physical recovery and stuff, I had to go to physical therapy for 2 years after the surgery. Basically, I had to relearn to walk a little bit and getting back up on my feet and kind of going through a lot. So it was a pretty huge ordeal. For a year after my surgery, I wasn't allowed to lift more than 5 pounds. Due to risk, it may mess up the fusion they did in the back, in my back. So, you know, for a long time I wasn't able to lift things or do a whole lot of anything. So it really kind of reduced my, you know, physical fitness or whatever that I had, because if you don't use your muscles, they wear out, you know, they're gone. So that kind of hit me pretty hard. I wasn't able to get out and about in the outdoors and enjoy things like I used to love and do. I grew up my entire life spending time with my grandfather, my dad, fishing and hunting and just spending time out in the woods. I enjoyed camping and all that kind of stuff. Anything a normal kid did. I was really athletic and staying busy, doing all that kind of stuff. I played real hard and was always busy in the outdoors. And growing up, the more I grew up, the more all these illnesses kind of hit me pretty hard, and they really slowed me down. I wasn't able to go out and do the things I loved, and hit me pretty hard. So once I got out of recovery and all that kind of stuff, and a couple years down the road when I'm getting to my teens, I really had a new love for the outdoors. I wanted to spend more time, get out there hunting and fishing and camping, whatever I could do, even if I was just going out for the day and just enjoying nature. Riding around in a four-wheeler was my main source of mobility due to the fact I couldn't get around a lot on foot. So I would just drive a four-wheeler out to a place and I'd get off and kind of sit on a log or hang out, do whatever. And I began to realize that, you know, my grandparents owned some land, and that's the land I would ride on, but being on a four-wheeler, I could go out so far in a day. Those things will run for forever on tank of gas. I was going out so far that if anything had ever happened to the four-wheeler, I wouldn't be able to walk out due to my physical fitness and stuff. There would be no way I could walk out in one night. I would have to spend the night. This was back in a time when every kid didn't have a cell phone. So I had no way to contact anyone. I had no one to call anyone. My family, sorry guys, getting ate up by some bugs. My family, didn't want to hinder me. They've always let me do what I wanted to do, climb trees, whatever. They never held me back just because I was physically handicapped. They never let me hurt myself, but they never, stopped me from doing anything I thought I could do. And that's probably adds more to my mentality in life than anything else. I was never more handicapped than I let myself be. And so I never really let anything stop me. I'm never scared of anything. I always go after everything. I do some crazy stuff in my wheelchair that people freak out about, but if I put my mind to it, I can pretty much do it. And so when I was out in the woods, spending time doing whatever it was I wanted to do, I realized that I could really get hurt and really be stuck out here if something happened. And so that thus began my journey in bushcraft and wanting to learn self-reliance and how to take care of myself. If something happened, I wanted to have all the proper gear I needed, the equipment, and most importantly, the knowledge. I wanted to have the knowledge to do whatever I needed to do to take care of myself. And that's kind of what's brought me into bushcraft. That's what has brought me into self-reliance. I met Dave on YouTube about 3.5 years ago. It was back in '09. He was just getting ready to have the first Pathfinder gathering, and I kind of had some messages with him back and forth and comments on YouTube, and really started just diving in head first to self-reliance and learning everything I could. And at the 2010 fall gathering, or spring gathering, is the first gathering I was able to attend. I was there just kind of doing my thing in the wheelchair, and people kind of took notice of me and that I wouldn't let anything slow me down. And Dave had the idea, after I posted a picture of one of these chairs on the Facebook page, just kind of goofing off, saying, you know, it'd be cool to grab one of these one day and hang out with the rest of the guys in the advanced classes and stuff. And Dave kind of took hold of that and bought me this chair, raised the money over the course of a year with the help of several businesses and great friends, John McCann, Survival Resources being a huge contributor, and the rest of you guys, I don't want to start naming names because I'll miss someone and I don't want anyone to get upset. So there were some big contributors, some friends of mine that spent a lot of their own money to help get me this chair, and I really appreciate that. And that has allowed me to get out into the outdoors and to do what everyone else wants to do, and go places where I couldn't go on foot, and go places that four-wheelers can't go, and do things that they can't do. And this thing is quiet. I can hunt out of it, I fish with it, and it's allowed me to really do more than some of you other people can do. And I plan to take that advantage and run with it and use it to its fullest and just enjoy the outdoors. And I know a lot of us have been hearing and using here lately the military phrase, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And as soon as I heard it, I just kind of laughed, because that's really been my mentality, and that's been my life, pretty much. Nothing's ever slowed me down, except for physical things have slowed me down, but nothing's ever stopped me. And I've been able to achieve anything and everything I've ever wanted to, just by simply adapting and overcoming it. And I improvise things all the time. I can do friction fires, I can do anything that anyone else can do. I just have to go about it a little differently. But guys, sorry this video is so long. I just wanted to share some things about me, kind of open up a little bit. I had so many questions that trying to respond to all of them wasn't, you know, working out. So I wanted to make this video. Granted, it's a little long, but just kind of explain who I am, why I do what I do, and the reason I'm using this chair to get around, and just my thanks and love towards the Pathfinder Brotherhood that we got going on here, and just everyone. So hopefully you guys will get something out of this channel. You'll be able to see the way I do some things. I plan on doing a lot of gear reviews and things like that along the way. I got some sponsorships and things kind of lined up. So guys, I'm Tank Davis, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.